A wind day. A new day dawns. The curtains of your bed are pulled back, and the sunlight streams into your sleep-heavy eyes. I'm sorry to wake you up, Lady Frammy, but this morning all the delegates are to gather for the morning ride, and you look at the sunlight streaming in through the window, or rather the position of the sun, and sigh.
Join us in
I'm
bed,
running
Rhea.
late. Yes, please. Luckily, I already prepared everything that we need to get ready last night. You get out of bed and hastily set about washing. Sarah enters the room carrying a fresh basin of water. She sets it down near where Rhea is preparing your hairbrush, and the maid lets out a little yelp of horror. You hurry to see what could have alarmed her, to see that a black feather from some sort of large bird had fluttered in through the open window and landed in the basin. Oh, lady, I wish you didn't have to go. This is an ill omen, clear as the freckles on my face. In that case, we will just have to get creative and come up with a way to combat the bad luck, won't we? Sarah quickly grabs the feather and tosses it into the fire, but Rhea clearly remains bothered, even as she helps you into your colorful riding habit. Still, she forces herself to seem cheerful. I so like blue on you, Lady Frammy. It matches your eyes and makes you look so well.
Ah, yes, drawn-on eyes.
Yes, they're blue today, hooray. Since you slept in, you don't have very much time until you have to go report for the group ride. You could use it trying to comfort Rhea's fears, or you could make sure you look your best. Do we want to comfort Rhea, or do we want to improve our appearance?
The lover boy in me wants to comfort Rhea, but the noble in me wants to improve our appearance. We're pretty charming. I think we could brush off an appearance issue.
So you want to comfort Rhea?
Kind of, but... I mean, our grace is at 10 anyway. And our beauty's at 30. We're always fighting a losing battle.
I mean, you're right. Let's improve our appearance then.
Yeah?
Sorry, Rhea.
I love you.
You spend the time coming up with more flattering hairstyles. You do look quite a bit more becoming, if you do say so yourself. We're terrible people. Jasper quietly knocks on the door before letting himself in. I feel horrible.
That got our beauty up by 5.
Oh, well, I mean, that works then, I guess.
Sorry, Rhea. Stat games. Oh, Lady Frammy, it is time to go. Everyone is gathering in the gardens for now.
Thanks to the efforts of your servants, you arrive precisely on time. Which is to say, right in time to see about half of the delegates milling around aimlessly while waiting for the other half to dignify the event with their appearance. Do you gamble, Lady Frammy? Shall we wager on who shall be the last to make their arrival and how long they will make the rest of us wait? For myself, I would put the odds on Lord Blaine. He seems overly fond of beautifying himself and far less fond of mornings. You turn in surprise to see the Dowager Countess. My lady, I had no idea that you were accompanying us this morning. Sadly, no. I no longer ride. I shall spend my morning waiting here in the garden and keeping company to any who return early. I do envy you all, though. I used to love to ride. Ironically, it was the last thing I did before I end up in this. She gestures to the chair. I'm so sorry. Don't be, child. I've had a long time to come to terms with my accident. I was probably no older than you were at the time and just newlywed. Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to live up to the stereotypes you young people have for us older ladies and go all melancholy while regaling you with stories of days long gone. Think nothing of it, my lady. Shall we speak of happier things? Yes, please do keep such dull, depressing stories. No, just no. I think there is much to be learned from the stories of days long gone, Lady Yvette. Melancholy or not, so long as they are true. I hope that you will not say such harsh things about yourself. If you wish to talk about your past or your accident, of course I am more than happy to listen. I like
Bottom
the third
one.
one. You like the bottom one?
Third. Bottom of third.
You seemed pretty insistent on the bottom, so let's go with the bottom then.
Well, it's just that seems quite powerful here. If she likes us.
Well, I mean, she does.
It's entirely up to you. Both of those ones are good.
Well, then let's do the last one. You liked that one best.
Seems innocent, the last one. The middle one, the third one seems like we will learn from everything, which is also good. So, bottom? Bottoms up!
Thank you, child. You are very kind. Good morning, Yvette. How long do you think we will be forced to wait here before we can finally set off? Lady Froggy and I were just laying odds for that very question, and who shall be the one who causes the longest delay? Without a doubt it'll be my personal headache. Lord Blaine, I swear, if he were not my brother's godson, the boy would have been dead 10 times over by the time he hit puberty. At last, the mystery of his survival was explained. The odds of the female chaperone's guess proving correct increased as more and more latecomers made their way into the gardens, including Princess Gisette and her brother, Prince Jared. Good morning, Lady Froggy. You are looking very well this morning, isn't she, Jared? The princess elbowed her brother into something that was halfway between a grunt and a shrug, but she smiled as if he had given the most eloquent agreement. Well, we had best head towards the stables. My brother is very particular about his horse flesh. Perhaps we will have a chance to chat on the ride. The pair headed off, but you weren't left alone with the chaperones for long.
Good morning, Aunt Jaslyn. Please, please tell me that you aren't torturing Lady Froggy and the good Countess with your soliloquies on the latest trends in silk.
Of course not. Your aunt's company is delightful, as is that of Lady Yvette. What a terrible thing for a nephew to imply about his aunt. Shame on you, your highness. I see I have finally found your limit, Prince Zerad. You flatter and flirt with every woman, except ones that you are related to. Ugh. Good morning, your highness. I trust you are doing well.
Last one's boring.
Last one's boring. I don't like the third one either. That's just creepy.
Well, I mean, she's saying he's not flirting with them.
I mean, yeah, but it's still creepy to even
True.
think about that.
So, top one?
You want to go top?
Well, I mean, the second one seems... Well... I was about to say the second one seems stinging. The third one seems more like the banter that they've had. And top one is nice. We defend our ladies.
Well, then did you want to go with the third one if it seems to you like the banter we've had?
No, we can go for top. Well, I chose the last one, so this is on you.
What? This is such a hard choice.
Oh, yeah, I'm so glad I didn't have to make it.
You know what? Let's go creepy. Why not?
All right.
Flirting with the women, with the ones you aren't related to.
Flirt with my aunt? What's a Oh, you went French here. What's a horrifying thought? Have you no decency?
I told him when he was 12 if he did not stop being ridiculous around me, I would tell the Empress to marry him to the most meek bride she could find. Now he just tells me gossip instead of false flattery, which works out much better.
You would be surprised the horror the prospect of a meek, obedient bride can produce.
It is then that Lord Blaine stumbles out bleary-eyed and scowling. But, to the disappointment of Lady Yvette and Princess Azalyne, he is not actually the last delegate to arrive. That honor goes to one of the female delegates from Riviere, who decided that the finishing touch to her routine should be a hat filled with colorful feathers, at least a foot high each.
Is it bad that I can't remember who this guy is?
Lord Blaine? He's the dick who's in love with Anna. There we go. Couldn't say her name. Remember? He sent us a cheeky letter, and he, was extremely rude to us. She calls him Buzz Buzz.
Yes.
Now that everyone
Now I
was...
remember.
Yeah. I love him, but I hate him so much. Now that everyone was assembled, you were all herded towards the stables. As the stables aren't big enough to handle all of the delegates at once, you are told to wait outside while the servants lead out horses and help everyone to mount. You are brought a large white horse that shuffles uneasily under its handler's care. You don't know enough about horses to tell if this is normal behavior or not. Animal and plant knowledge failure. This is fine. Because of the difficulties making your mount stay still enough for you to get on, you are one of the last delegates to mount, led by the surprisingly agile rider, Head Butler. Most of the rest of the delegates are already riding on their way to explore the grounds. Essentially everyone you have come to know the past week and a half is far ahead. You aren't even close enough to make out most of what the head butler is saying. Thankfully, you are not forced to awkwardly ride by yourself as Princess Cordelia neatly rides up to join you. You would think that with all their experience, the staff would be better at organizing these events, but I have found the self-introductions and now this ride rather sloppily executed. I wonder if they expect those of us who prefer a more leisurely ride to simply educate ourselves on the environs and dangers they seemed so concerned about. Not to mention the inherent danger of the group separating. If something were to happen with this lack of organization, how would they expect to respond? This is far better organized than anything at home. At least no one's drunk off their sails. Or are they? Now that would make for an interesting morning. I suppose I should be relieved you aren't 3 sheets to the wind. The morning is young yet, Cordelia. As you are in the back of the group and stuck keeping company with the cautious rider that the princess turned out to be, the pair of you made slow progress. The front of the group gets more and more distant, and most of the people who are riding near the back with you are poor riders, spending most of their concentration on staying astride. At least it is nice weather for a ride. It does look like it will be a very nice day, when the only positive thing that you can say about the morning is the weather. That's a rather bad sign, don't you think?
I was just thinking that.
I wonder how long they are going to expect us to ride. I'm getting hot and tired, and I hate the smell of horse sweat. And the scenery is quite beautiful. The Isle is really a lovely place. Really a very lovely place.
Top or bottom?
Up to you.
Let's go bottom.
Bottom it is.
Oh god, the giant flowers!
No, they're back! We're gonna die! Princess Cordelia makes no response as you have left the forest past the grounds of the castle and instead come upon a large field filled with flowers. The princess gasps in pleasure. Oh, how lovely. A few of the delegates have dismounted in order to get a closer look at the flowers, and Cordelia quickly joins them, smelling the flowers happily. Your horse, on the other hand, has been getting harder and harder to control. Even your easy pace has caused it to sidle and twitch. You are afraid if you dismount, there will be no chance of getting back on. You are considering the merits of getting off versus staying on when suddenly there is a loud banging noise that echoes through the meadow. Before you can stop, your horse is racing off, wild and out of control.
It's a black dragon.
No, not again! Where are the cows?
8 cows!
We need all the cows!
That's a Dungeons & Dragons campaign reference for anyone who's not sure.
Yeah, you guys should head over to Lami's channel if you're not there already and watch, because it's amazing. Flustered by the sudden, wild, breakneck pace of the horse, you are unable to remain calm. Poise failure. Your eyes widen with the beginnings of panic as you realize that the horse is wildly racing not through a peaceful meadow, but straight towards the island's cliff. The horse is heading right towards the edge and makes no sign of slowing, let alone stopping. You can't help but feel a wave of terrified panic at the realization that you are rushing straight towards what could be a very painful, terrifying death. Courage failure.
Oh, we were getting courage up! Well, we were trying.
We're trying, but we're not quite there yet. If you do nothing, there is very little doubt that you won't survive your horse's mad flight. It isn't just a question of pressure. It's also a question of time, as in you are running out of it, and your mind isn't working fast enough. Quick thinking failure.
Oh, God.
We are gonna die. The cliffs are drawing closer and closer. You are going to have to act, or it will be too late. Unfortunately, you do not have the training or the instincts to know what to do in such a dangerous situation. Defensive instincts failure. The edge of the cliff draws nearer and nearer. You can feel your heart in your chest beating even more rapidly than the loud echo of your horse's hooves against the ground. As the realization that you simply don't have the ability to save yourself hits, you tightly close your eyes. It takes you a minute to realize that the sharp jerking was not in fact you dying as you and the horse leapt from the cliff, but rather something else entirely. Oh, I haven't seen this picture before. Hello. You open your eyes to find that you are still on the horse and the both of you are still safely on solid ground, but you aren't alone. It seems as if Prince Zarad has somehow managed to get ahead of your horse and force it into a safer path before forcing it to slow down and finally stop. He gives you a reassuring nod as you use the opportunity to slip off your horse and sink into blessedly still ground.